Let me start with some insipid drink.
Oh, I forgot we were recording.
He started bugging. Welcome. This is the third time we're doing this shit, so if shit doesn't seem like it's affecting us like it should, it's because this is the fucking the thrice we're going. This podcast, formerly known as Ready Set Rose, is now standing on business. I'm sitting here with a the specialist guest, even though it's already been one, no shade, but this is the specialist guest so far. My baby sister, my real blood, you them cub. Introduce yourself.
It's me.
Her name is Rihanna. Right, I'm stealing it now because you did some jerk shit. Her name is Rihanna. She's 22.
22.
22. I'm 22. Own crib. Own job. Own car. On God.
Okay.
Hello. I won't say you came a long way. You got through some shit, but you always been on your shit. You always been on your shit.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
Definitely had your trials and tribulations. Yeah. As you should. Yeah, as you should. As you should. I feel like niggas you had to go through that. You would have been a jerk. You'd have been a jerk. If you ain't have like no troubles. No. I mean, we all had troubles, like, but if you ain't had like, you're a jerk if you don't have. Yeah, you're a jerk. That's why when people get mad like celebrity kids, like, you can't be that mad. Yeah, you can't. You can't be mad that niggas.
There's no worries. There's no.
I was gonna put a status up earlier saying if you didn't eat cinnamon sugar toast and you weren't living, but I'm thinking that was terrible.
What are you talking about? That was fire.
No, but it was that we're not supposed to be eating that. Like, I would shame other people. Like, well, if you didn't.
Maybe not for breakfast.
No, definitely not for breakfast. That was absolutely dessert. That's absolutely dessert. Bread, butter, and massive sugar and cinnamon is OD. That's OD.
It is OD.
That's OD. It's not even nutritious.
I used to put. I'll say it. I'll admit it. I used to put cream cheese on toast.
It was never that serious for me.
I know.
It was never that serious for me.
Liked it.
I honestly, shame on you. I wouldn't have told nobody that. There was like the fact that niggas had.
If you toast a bagel, what? Because there's more bread.
Yes, that's the difference.
I don't like that much bread. I get full off of bread mad quick. I don't like that much bread. You know?
I don't know why there was cream cheese in the house and no bagels. Sounds like priorities to me. Maybe we shouldn't buy cream cheese. What's even worse than having cream cheese in the house and no bagels is having bagels in the house and no cream cheese. Because a buttered bagel is trash.
No, you can't have
a buttered bagel is
onion bagel with butter. It's not.
It's trash. I don't care.
The only time butter works on a bagel is if it's a cinnamon raisin bagel, which are fire, by the way. I don't care what anybody says.
I had one on the way over here with strawberry cream. Yeah,
that's mad good.
But it was giving.
Where'd you get it from though, Dunkin'?
No, Auntie made it. It was.
Oh, what's fire?
It was Thomas's. Is it Thomas? I think it is. It's Thomas's bagel and Philadelphia cream cheese.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Sitting here 3 minutes in the podcast discussing the dynamics of bagels and their proper fixings. Love you, girl. This is really how we act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like we're doing a podcast.
No, it doesn't. Like we're just talking. Yeah, it doesn't. A lot of people. I loved it. A lot of it'll get you. Grabba had me. Grabba is asthma. People who put grabba, you're an attention seeker. No. If you put grabba in your blunt, you're an attention seeker. Because who wants to die?
I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't used to smoke grabba, and now that I did start smoking grabba, I'm definitely addicted to this shit. But it's like the punch.
Who wants to sign up to get punched? Not I. So, give y'all a little history on me and my sister. We're 6.5 years exactly apart. She was born in 2000. I was 93. And I feel like I've said this a million times.
Because we have. And if this doesn't work, it's not meant to be. I'm really hoping this works, though. That wasn't even lit all the way. Half of that weed was...
I know.
What are you doing? That's what you get.
That's the relationship we have. I cough because I'm dying and choking over here, and she goes, that's what you get. So...
I stared at you to make sure.
that doesn't help. That doesn't help any. It doesn't help any. So, the year's 2000, and this is probably one of my favorite stories. My mother goes into labor, and me and Rihanna's father go up to the hospital, and she goes, I was so excited to have a baby sister. So excited. I was never one of those that was jealous or envious. Like I was one of those, hey, look at my sister.
Right.
So,
you always showed me off.
Right, and she was always been gorgeous. Always been gorgeous. So it was like, hey, look at my sister. Look what the fuck we made. Yeah, well, yeah, we can make one too. Cause I was rough. I was cute, but I was rough. I was like regular hood baby. Like I was tough. I was cute, but it was like, all right. And then it was like, nigga, we got you. It was like, hey, nigga, our shit worked too, nigga. But my mom was in the hospital. I never forget this shit. And she was like, yo, I got a present for you from your sister. And I'm like, And I'm 6. I'm like, I don't know. Like, whatever. Like, the bitch not even here. She's buying me presents. So, my mother handed...
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a fucking... a Pez dispenser or something. Some weird shit. Or maybe some Brute deodorant and some socks. Yeah. Well, like, I talked to her through the belly, but I don't hear her. How did she tell you something? So, she handed me this box or package or whatever it was, and it had a brand new cassette player in it, a brand new Walkman with the radio, and the headphones that went around the ear and the back of the neck that just came out. And she got me Aaron Carter and the S Club 7 tape. And I almost shit my pants in that hospital room. I was so I was like, what the she got this for me? And she was like, She told me you would like that. And I was like, whoa. This bitch is a superhero. Like, she got superpowers. Holy shit. It was a very confusing time for me musically. I was listening, I was like, my mom didn't want us listening to, like, gangster, like she didn't like that shit. Right. So I popped up singing Snoop and shit. Like, Doggy Style was like, my mother found me with porn. Like, what the? Like, I had to sneak and listen to Snoop. But it was brutal back then, too. It wasn't too many edits. Like, you was listening to shit, like...
Everything was extreme.
Right. If it wasn't on the radio, it wasn't cut. Like, that shit was uncut, raw music. So,
yeah, they did have 2 versions.
NSYNC's little... Oh, no, it was... Backstreet Boys were the shit at the time. And Nick Carter's little brother came out with a song that was so fucking hot. You know what it was? I think it was Hey Arnold movie. I think the soundtrack came out. And it was like Lil Romeo had a hit and Eric Carter had a hit. And it was them niggas. And then S Club 7 was like the British fucking A-team. I don't even know what to describe it as. Like, it'd be like... It was almost like one of Diddy's Making the Bands, but it just been British. And they just did all these old covers, and that shit was fire. And I'm like, yo, this bitch is dope. That's when I really started, like, not just living for myself. Because it didn't matter what part of the family it was. my side of the family, your side of the family, our side of the family, everybody always told me, like, yo, make sure you're looking out for your sister. Rest in peace to my grandfather. He used to always give me money and be like, yo, make sure you get something for your sister. Always give me money. Every time I would go see Grandma and Grandpa Buster, every time he would give me money. And even if he was mad at me.
They always checked on me. Too.
Right.
They always
yeah,
checked on me.
they knew.
Always checked on me.
They
bought
knew.
Stuff for me. Like I never felt like I was ever a step on that side. Like that was just my family. You know what I mean?
And I miss Grandma so much. She really taught me. So me and Rihanna have different fathers. So I'm speaking on my father's side of the family.
My same mother.
Right, same mother, different father. I didn't grow up with my father. You know, he was pretty much a victim of the 80s and the 90s. You know, like a lot of people were, but he made a decision like, yo, instead of me fucking their lives up, I'm gonna just step away until I get right. And I always respected him for that because he did, and he came back, and him and my mother are together, and he helped. Yeah, he helped raise my sister, so I got a lot of respect for that man. But in the meantime, my grandmothers and my grandmother and my aunts were like, we don't give a fuck if like they're like, yeah, he got shit going on, but this baby's gonna know like his side of the family, and for my step grandfather to be concerned about a grandbaby that's not his and his sister that's not related to anybody, for him to instill them values in me, that shit always stuck with me. And it always was, even if we were mad, because I always ain't never bite my tongue about nothing. So he used to shave. He used to shave with his magic shave. It stunk Monty. Shout out to my little cousin Monty. It smelled horrendous, and it probably works amazing. Yeah, and it
works fucking great.
And I knew it was something weird because you wipe it off with a flat surface. So he would do it with a butter knife. And I'd be like, this nigga's bugging. But he would make like eggs and sardines in the morning, and then have that going. And I'd be in the crib like, nah, y'all got to get me out of here. Like, this is OD. Every time Grandpa got church, he starts bugging. So, and he was old school black. He was, you know how some people look like they don't play? Like, you're so black, you look like them old school Southern Alabama daddies. Like he had that look to him, and he used to just.
And they're nice people when they talk, but don't fuck with them.
Right. He used to just be so. Just like shocked and like, yo, this little nigga just says anything, and I'd always come back and boo-hooing, crying and shit, and he'd always send me home with like, it was money and a lesson. So everybody always told me, yo, protect her, like, yo, she's it. And to this day, look at her all skinny and shit, you know, all slim and shit. Yeah, shitting me. Slim and shit. Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
You know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a skinny kid.
One day my body woke up and was like...
But that was,
what the fuck is that?
That shit. You can't deny no TikTok trend. I don't care what niggas is talking about. You cannot deny no TikTok trend. Yeah, doom. What the fuck is that? It's on stuff on there. I know mommy's downstairs like, So back to us, like, you gave me a lot of like purpose that I didn't know. I almost took on a father role, but it never felt like, damn, I gotta be her dad. It was all like, yo, this is what you gotta do. Like, before I even found out what my purpose was in life, I knew it was protect your sister, hold it down, make sure she's straight, make sure she's not asking for nothing, make sure she doesn't need nothing, make sure that she knows what you know about life. That's why when you go through things, I'll be like, yo, hey, listen, just do this. Especially if I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, if I can have this talk with her to avoid, going through this shit, because you don't have to.
It would be so easy if it was just, if I wasn't so stubborn.
It's not. Yes, but it's not just you being stubborn.
I've always been like that, though. It doesn't matter what you tell me.
Well, that's how we are.
Exactly what the fuck it is.
Right.
And I'm going to be like, all right, well, I'm still going to do what I want to.
That's how we are.
It always ends up turning out to exactly what you said it was going to be. And then I'm like, well, I don't know why. And you're like, you never tell me I told you so, but you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's tough. Because I know.
But I appreciate it because it's hard when you know somebody just told you not to do something and you did it anyways and you know it was wrong. It's hard to like, on the receiving end, I'm waiting for somebody to be like, bro, I told you so. Like, I told you this was going to happen.
But look at what you just said right there. Look how far it took you to get here. Like, it seems like forever, but it really hasn't been.
Yeah.
So imagine, you know what I'm saying, and however long you're just going to, next time I say something or next time you go through something, I'm like, hey, listen, don't do this. And you take the advice. You're like, wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That all comes with growth.
Because that's me. I know that. That's us.
We're the same fucking person.
Right. That's how I know, like, damn, I'm not going to hound her with this because either she's going to listen or she's not.
Or I'm going to rebel against it.
Right. So, and I don't want to, because there's definitely been times that mommy's been like, yo, listen, what you saying is right. But like, yo, boy, that's been something I've really had to work hard on in my life is knowing the place and not just like, knowing there's a time and place for everything. I've had a real problem my whole life doing that. Even today, it didn't happen today, but it happens a lot. I'll go too far with a joke and not know I went too far. And then once I went too far, a lot of the times people will be like, yo, listen, that was too far. And then I feel like, oh, I'm getting bitched right now. Well, let me not back down. Right. And at this point, I'm really just violating somebody. Not intentionally, but because I'm feeling like I just did too much. So it took me a long time to really get to, like, not be that person. But so when I see people going through things that we're really alike, I'm like, they kind of got to go through it. I can't just tell them because I wouldn't listen to that.
And it's not so much, I used to think, well, you can't help nobody that doesn't want to be helped. But, like, in my predicament, I wanted to be helped, but I was not ready to receive the help.
Yo, and this
I wasn't ready for it. And
I'm gonna tell you what.
That's not ready for it. That's what it is.
I'm gonna tell you what. Your mother is the reason why, when you was going through a lot of that shit, you didn't know my stance on it, because I wouldn't speak on it, because she would say, yo, she ain't gonna hear you if you say that. You gotta just hold it down and wait till she can hear you. And then once you really got out of that space. Even I came over here, nigga, you sitting here crying like, yo, I started telling you a lot of shit you didn't know. You're like, damn, I didn't even know you were feeling like that. But yo, I was like, yo, you wouldn't have heard me. You wouldn't have heard me. For example, what I was saying of like, you got to get to that space and then understand why I said that. I called my grandfather, our grandfather, our mother's husband, who's raised us. Sheesh. Love this man to death. He's the only person I call daddy.
Yeah.
So we have every holiday
stability.
Right. Every holiday it was this big fucking dinner at our grandparents' house and all the family come over. And first of all, we live in a three house of horror over here. I grew up in a house right in the middle of the hood. To the right of us is our aunt and all our cousins, and to the left of us is our grandparents and all our aunts and uncles. So I couldn't do shit. There wasn't no sneaking around, none of that.
There wasn't nobody bringing to the house.
But back in the day, holidays were crazy. All of our out of the town family would come in, and 3 houses just full of people. So our grandparents are getting older. So it was just a routine. I love you guys so much. It was just a routine that when the kids got to a certain age, you stopped asking for shit because you knew shit would happen. Yeah. We knew every year there was going to be Thanksgiving. So the week before Thanksgiving, if you had some sense, you went over there and you fucking cleaned.
Yeah, you canceled all your plans. It wasn't
right. No, mommy and daddy need.
It was family time.
Right, mommy and I grew up. I have 7 aunts, and my mother is one of 7. On her mother's side, my grandparents we lived next to, so and they started having them pretty late after she was born. Like they started with the first kid when she was 10.
Right.
So the last kid is only a couple years older than me.
10 years older than the oldest kid.
Right. And I'm 3 years younger than the youngest.
Right.
So I was kind of raised as my grandparents' last kid.
Right.
And so it was, mommy and daddy, niggas need help. They're cooking all this food by themselves. And I'm saying all this food.
20 pies.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, my grandfather starts carving he starts peeling the potatoes.
20 pounds of potatoes.
Yeah, like 3 days before he starts even making them. This is a week process. Anybody that has a big family knows that Thanksgiving is a week process.
Yeah.
If you ain't start cooking on that Wednesday before, you're bugging. By the time Rihanna came, you were here for a little bit, and then all the grandkids poured in. Like I'm the oldest great grandchild of our great grandparents, and then of our grandparents, I'm the oldest grandchild. So there's like, yeah. So there's like 40 of us, and I was 7 when she came, and then by the time she was 7, then like back to back, like to this day. By the time you had come around and got to the age where it was like, all right, well, you're 12, you gotta hold down the living room and the kitchen, and I'm talking about spotless. We're shining. We got dishes. We gotta shine all types of shit. Yeah, like right, because we live in this big ass house, but there's mad people here. But if there's gonna be a dinner, like this shit gotta be spotless.
There's people that are coming that are not part of the family.
Right. Oh, for sure. Oh, my grandfather made sure white folk came.
Oh yeah,
they was gonna see this house for sure. As much as I was about to say, as much as my grandfather was a carpenter and he was a chef and a carpenter for fucking 50 years. To this day, he's still a carpenter. Yeah. So he's been to all these people's houses and they've seen all the auditions he put up. They got recognized by the city, everything. He got his award up for sure. Mm-hmm. By the time you came around, they were in full grandparent mode. By the time you got older and shit, so he would pay you to do that, and he would give you money.
I didn't start getting paid until I was about 14.
Right, and this is the time you give back. So this was our time.
When he started paying me, he wasn't paying me little amounts. He was giving me big bucks.
Right,
like I was like, Poppy, I can't take all.
No, but at that point, they had entered a whole different stage in their life, and they were like really valued that extra hand. Yeah. Like they were getting older, and they started raising.
You don't want to take.
Yeah, they started raising like the grandbabies at that point. So it was like, yo, niggas need this. But before that, he would give you money for things, and one thing about us, we know how to clean. Like I was in trouble enough to
like dirty.
Right. So my mother used to set me up and like put like a quarter in a corner a certain way and tell me like to sweep the house really good. So she'd come home and I'd figure a way to just sweep the surface areas. That's how you finesse her, stupid. So I'm gonna sweep the surface. Yeah. She's not as smart as me. Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna sweep it under the rug. I'm not gonna move nothing out the way. I'm mopping as is. If it's on the floor and I can see it, I'm mopping as is. So she used to come in and like be like, "Yo, you cleaning?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah. Look, I clean." And then she'd be like, "All right," and go right to the corner and pick up the piece of paper or the quarter, and it was like, "Wow, he's still here." And I'd be like, oh, "This bitch." I'm like, "Yo, she got me." So I remember like yelling at you one time because you were
just a fucking speck of dust.
Yeah, but I was just like, yo, it was like, yo, this is the time that we're supposed to give back because this is how it always started. Like once Kimberly hit this age, she had to give back. Once Andrew, Adam, Matthew, then I came, and it was like, it was just such a routine. And by the time you came, you were getting money, and I was like, yo, there's no way this bitch is getting paid for what we all had to do, and she's not doing at a good job. I'm like, what the fuck? So I said to mommy, like, yo, this bitch is bugging. And she was just like, yo, I get what you're saying, but like, yo, can't say like that. Because I said something to you. You're like, what? Like, nigga? And I was like, yo, she's being... I just
spent hours on the fucking...
Yeah, but hours
on the crib, and this one fucking...
I like made you feel bad about it, though.
You did.
And I was like... But I didn't see it how I was supposed to see it. So I'm like, what the... like... And then once I realized that I had said it wrong, because what I was trying to say was on point, and mommy got that. Yeah. But she's like, "Nigga, like,
you were just
I get it."
Show me, like, no, you gotta make sure you
right, like, yeah, that's a value, that's a valuable lesson, a very valuable lesson. But like, nigga, the way you said it, like, all right, come, and I was like, oh man. So I've always tried to say things to you, like, it's even the little words you use, like, instead of me saying you need to, I'll go, well, maybe you should try this.
And I really appreciate that.
Right.
I really appreciate that, and I noticed that you've done that. I noticed that shit because I don't know why it's something about certain words for me, but there's certain things that are almost triggers for me. And when somebody tells me
that's trauma. Oh no!
When somebody tells me you need to do something, I'm like, I don't need to do anything.
Respectfully, I'll be black and die for sure, nigga.
You're not gonna tell me how to do anything.
I'll be black and die. I don't know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, the whole time you're like, damn, I need to do that.
Right.
Because there's no, and you know what got me learning that is,
it's like when you say I should, it's like you're just giving your opinion on something.
Well. Or
this is a good idea.
Or you should try it. Or this worked for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. I know everybody's different, and that's why I say, and even when me and mommy both give you advice, it's like it'd be opposite advice, but we'll both be like, hey, listen, this worked for me, and that worked for him. That can't work for me, but maybe it'll work for you. Right. It's all about how you say stuff to some people, and I've gone through that in relationships, with friends, with family. Like, and I know you're not telling me nothing. You're not telling me nothing. Don't just tell me. Especially if it's like, don't kick me while I'm down. Like, obviously we're having this conversation because something isn't going wrong. So for you to say certain things, it's like, all right, you didn't have to say that.
And obviously I already know I'm fucking up
right
now.
Like, if I lose my keys and I'm in a frantic looking for my keys, and for some reason somebody goes, well, you should be more careful where you put your keys. Not right now, bro. I'll slap you. I will slap you. I'll slap you. Why did you have to say that now?
You didn't have to.
And then
it wasn't necessary. And now you caused my fucking anxiety to go up. And now I'm going to start blacking. And this all could have been avoided because you could have thought about it just a little bit more before you opened your big fat mouth, you dummy.
You fucking joik. You joik off. You don't know. I could have a problematic father situation going on, and you just fucking triggered something. You jerk off.
You have no clue.
I'll tell you this. I don't think I've ever told you this, but you're the only person in our family that I felt like never switched up on me or left me, like just left me for fucking dead. Because there was a long time where I felt like either niggas switched up or niggas just was just like,
well,
yeah, he'll be all right. He got a good head on his. Yeah, he got good.
Can't take on anything else.
He got a good head on his shoulders. So,
like, what the fuck?
as much as the bond we have, it's almost amazing, and we don't even have a bond to where I'll say if this didn't happen, would we like this didn't make us close? It would make more siblings close if they weren't as close as we always were. But
burn the house down. I already went through that once.
I think that you want to get more juice.
Yeah, but I can wait a second.
You want to sip of my juice?
No.
I think you do. You want to take? Yeah. What? I don't need it.
I don't need it.
Remember, he started bugging. I need it. He started tweaking. He started tweaking. So when I was,
oh, that's crack juice. That's good.
yeah, when I was 12, me and my mom started beefing heavy,
Yeah.
OD, and it was a combination of her not being around because we lived so terribly. We just lived in a bad situation, and she had to work like 50 fucking jobs. Literally, she had
a bad situation because she was out being a prostitute.
Right. It wasn't. She wasn't a Rosty. Yeah, she wasn't a rock star.
She was working.
Like she was like. If you ever watched Willy Wonka, Charlie's mother was fucking doing laundry in the middle of the night. That was her.
That was her.
Yeah, for sure. So
knitting fucking ponchos for
Right.
families in the middle of the
Right.
night, selling that shit.
Yeah.
Like what? The
she had
Who the fuck makes 5 ponchos on a 10-hour shift and
Right.
does 6 load of laundries? Clean.
Remember the one nigga in there? Shout out Mr. Rado. They were real cool friends, but they had the one nigga who would grow his own zucchini, and he give it to my mom, and she make zucchini bread in the middle of the night, doing an overnight at the Center for Disabled.
Yeah.
So, just between her being exhausted and that leaves me alone. So you would go to your father's house, or right, or you would go to our grandparents' house. But I was old enough to be alone, so I started like not even acting out, but you just get bored, and niggas are outside.
Right.
It's mad fun outside.
Right.
I didn't have any older brothers or sisters or like cousins and shit, so I had to make. I like my name has come from me. Like I haven't, like I don't have no. Right, nah, yeah, like the name that I have out here, like I've had to make a name for myself. So then between like you working and shame on the firstborns for really being hard on our moms, cause they were growing up with us too. Like it was fucked up. Yeah, like you're young, you're trying to raise kids and trying to grow up yourself, and so. Between that and working and not really having time to raise me, and then by the time I was just getting in trouble over little shit, and it's like, nigga, I have
everything,
right,
everything.
Like I'm getting an hour a day, maybe collectively to sleep, and in that hour I have to spend a half of it talking to one of the fucking assistant principals or something, because you did some asshole shit at work, at school, and it didn't even make no sense. I wasn't like,
man, I don't have the fucking time to take off.
Come on, bro. You got me up here. You got these fucking white people looking at me crazy. That's the best one right there. If your mother says you got these white people looking at me crazy, you're getting beat.
Nigga, you pulled the fire alarm.
I was walking home with some bitches in 5th grade. You know, one of them was Shanty.
Who's that?
Shanty Jennings. Chantel.
I think she's really pretty.
Oh, for sure. Don't say it like that though.
What?
You know she likes bitches. Try to smooth talk. Shanty was supposed to be the one. Don't damn.
I wasn't.
Anywho, I walked home with Shanty and like 3 other bitches. I had a crush on all of them, whatever. So they're like, Nicholas, you won't pull the fire. Stupid. It was a fire alarm on the street. They don't know. You don't gas me. They don't know it was a fire alarm on the street. I pulled this shit. That just said, we took off running. We went from Elmer to the first corner store. By the time we got to where the second corner store now is, near that little like medieval church shit, we heard meh, meh, meh. Fire department pull up. Them niggas told on me. They told them. They didn't tell police. You know what happened? Mommy pulled up. And they said, hi, Miss Nicholas, Mom. Nicholas pulled the fire alarm. And I stood there like, oh, nah, y'all ain't do that. Yeah.
Oh, ladies. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, they definitely,
I'm disappointed.
They told Ashley too. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Ashley too.
My heart.
No, not the Ashley. Not the Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Nah, not the Ashley.
I was gonna be like,
no, Cooey's cousin Ashley. Cooey's cousin Ashley. Yeah, they all gave me up. They gave up the goods.
Oh.
That was a rough time for me and Mommy, and that was a good time. That would have been the time that family's supposed to step the fuck in. Hey, all right, so something's going on. Like, yo, we gotta help her. And I've never talked to them about this as a group. Individually, everybody's heard me. But shame on them niggas for leaving my mother like that in that time of need. And that potentially fucked up her, that potentially could have fucked up our relationship like forever.
For no reason.
Right, because I thought my mother was losing her mind because she's like, yo, I need help. And I grew up with such a fucking huge family. I just said, we in 3 houses on the holidays. This is where you're at. You was at 8-11, 8-13, or 8-15. Right. Like at every holiday. And I'm talking about mad people. From out of town. Right. Every auntie and uncle y'all be seeing on Instagram. The stealing uncle. Only thing we didn't have was no pedophiles in our family. We could jack that. Yeah. We could jack that. We didn't have no pedophiles in our family. So, but the crackhead auntie, the uncle who steal, the uncle who stinks. The alcoholic, druggie, everybody we had. So it was like, nigga, I'm fucking. Now people are walking past the house. You know what I'm saying? It's like now there's only people going to 2 houses.
And we're in the middle.
Right in the middle, like yo. So when you're next door, we hear y'all. When you're on the other stuff, when you're on the other side, we hear y'all. And it was like, oh, we'll pray for y'all, but that's all we got for you. And it was really fucked up. And so I was in. They had to take me out the house when I was like 13. It went from yo, you're at your uncle's house. It was rotten. You're really your real uncle, but just go up there for the weekend. Like, don't even come home till. Yo, you're gonna spend a week at Joel's crib or some shit. Right. And then it was, let's try the summer at the Vix's, and then maybe, school starts to go there. 2, I never came back. And
that was so weird for me.
I was
so weird.
You were as old as I, and this is why I identify with it. Like, this is when you start really paying attention to shit, because you were as old then as I was when you were born. And it was like, oh, okay. Like, that's my first vivid memory is, like, I remember stuff before then, but, like, my first, like, clear, I knew what the fuck was going on. It was the year was 2000, and my sister just dropped. Like, she's here. All right. And, like, I didn't know a lot of what was going on at the time was going to have an effect as much as it did. I look back when I was 17 and said, yo, these niggas stole 4 years from me. Like, they stole 4 good years from me. Yeah. Like, right. Like, I'm 17 and I'm just pretty much fighting to be in the world at this point. because I knew I could never come back here.
Yeah.
It never worked. And during that whole time, like, yo, the support from my family was just so poor. It was so poor. There was no reason. There's no reason a mother and son should beef the way they did. And niggas didn't do nothing. Niggas didn't pull up on visits. Yo, and it was, and you know, I don't know what help I could offer. I know because I went through that, but as a person that didn't go through that, I still wouldn't let it happen. Like, nah, we got to do something.
Could you imagine? Could you just even for a second picture me having a child and dealing with that, and you just being like,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
right?
I'm sending my love and my thoughts, my prayers with you,
right?
That's it,
right? And my mother's father's side of the family.
Oh, and sorry, I walked by the house on the holidays. I wasn't even thinking about it. What? That's
why there's not a person over the age of 18 in our family that doesn't know I was pissed, and that I've talked to every one of these motherfuckers. Like, yo, shame on y'all. And not even for how shit played out, because it had to go like that. I truly feel like for me to become the person that I am, I had to absolutely go through that. But
I agree.
You niggas just y'all lost family, and that's why I'm able to say, because I remember what it was like when Nana and Papa was here. I vividly remember that. It's the same time we were born. Like, I really remember this, and the way family used to be, it's like there's no way that all of our family lives in New York and we're not close. It's no way in hell. Like, New York is probably from the city to the fucking maybe 6 hours long. Like there's no way in hell that niggas don't get together and do shit like this. Or, like, family's not even there. Family's not supposed to be there for the fun times. Friends are here for the fun times. You're like, you don't have a choice when shit gets bad.
We're supposed to see each other
right.
With no judgment.
Right. Because it's a lot to judge about, right. And it ain't. You know, I know some shit about this family. One thing I always did, I kept my mouth shut for 30 years, and I kept my mouth shut for 30 years and my ears wide open. I know everybody's tea. Because you got some.
And we'll drop it.
And you got some.
And we'll drop it.
And you got some.
And we'll drop it.
Hello. I had some red cat in me. Y'all be mad as hell at me. Yeah, for sure. But I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody, but I just was like,
nobody knew.
I expected better. It was like I'm not mad at you. Shame on you. But I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm able to. I'm able to be the nigga that I am now, and it's just so weird. It's almost like, not even on no cocky shit, but it's almost like I'm the glue that's gonna hold. Yeah, that I'm gonna hold the family together. I feel like you have to get to a certain level of peace to visit the question on why you're here. And then once you realize why you're here, yo, nothing can knock you off that horse.
Right.
Nothing but you can knock you off that horse. And I really feel like my purpose in this life is to make the people around me, like, make their situations good. Yeah. And set them up so however many years we're here after this, niggas is good. Like, I talked to you about, like, I want to change my last name, you know. And the thing behind that is,
it's not anything personal.
Right, it's not nothing bad. Right. But if my name is just a slave descendant name, right? I I don't want to keep passing that down. I want like there to be fucking like not
Like, yo, you came from this.
right. Not saying there's no honor to where I came from, but like if I had like a last name of like Tubman or like you know what I'm saying Douglas, I'd be like, yo, there's like mad. Oh, you can't laugh at Harriet. That's OD. Oh, you know what they'll send you for that. That's tough. But no, I really found what my purpose in this life is, and I just feel like I'm going to be the... What's wrong with you? Oh. All aboard! You're going to the brimstone on the train. All aboard!